This is huge! In this video, we are going to speak with Siva Sankar, the CEO and founder of Noval. What Siva built in a bit less than a decade is just mind-blowing. He found a problem in a supply chain. He came up with a technological solution. But where a lot of engineers would just sell their innovation, Siva is a trader at his core. So he created a completely new system around his technology to be able to trade this new commodity produced by his machine. You'll see, he'll explain everything. Siva is a highly discreet man. So I was thrilled when he accepted to come on my channel to have an open conversation about his company. Quick disclaimer, I'm not a professional interviewer, so I feel like the 5 first minutes were a bit like a warm-up, but seriously, keep watching, it's worth it. Perfect, Siva. So as a starter, my first question is, what can you disclose in terms of numbers about your company? Because what I want the audience to understand is, how big you are right now. Knowing that you started like 5 years, no, now how long is it? 5 years ago? 7 years ago?
I think it's almost a week.
Yes. Okay. So can you just give us some numbers that you can share to the public, and then we'll start with more questions.
Absolutely. So Damien, being a trader myself, I always calculate, right? So I expect the readers also to calculate quickly when I tell about the size, right? See, in India, we are looking at, first of all, I work in the domestic market, majorly. We have got a lot of overseas demand as well, exploring that in our own ways, and if any of the subscribers also would like to partner, more than happy, by the way. So, in the domestic market, we are looking at almost 8 million tons of waste generated, out of which we could capture almost 3 million tons of waste. That's a yearly one, annual one. And from this, we could extract close to 2 million tons annually, right? This is the size of the market. In this market, we have got around 70 to 80% share. That's all.
This is incredible. This is incredible.
You come back to me for the prices, right?
Yes, exactly. So, and right now, but the local market is huge. The feed local market is huge in India. So basically, you don't need to export your product because the local demand is strong enough, right?
That's very true, Damien. Because the consumption, the meat consumption, because our product is linked to meat consumption, right? And meat consumption has every kilogram of meat processed gives you around 300 grams, 30% of waste, right? And that's your product, right? So when the consumption goes up, like in a country like India, we are looking at almost 200 million meat-eating population. It's not small, right? And it's increasing like 20-30%, year on year. All the new kids, they are mostly, you would have an impression about a non-vegetarian, vegetarian country, but there's a lot of non-vegetarians in this, meat-eating population is there. So yes, the domestic market is large. Right now, it's soy meal dependent, a lot. Okay, I'll give you an idea. Say for every 100 kilogram, let's break it down into easy. For every 100 kilogram, we are looking at almost 60 kilogram of soya imported.
Okay,
that's dependency, right? So this alternative protein can effectively replace at least 50% of the 60 kilogram which I just mentioned, or in fact fully.
Okay, so there's a way to fully replace the imported soybean with your product.
Exactly. So we are looking at a big market.
The market then is it's enormous. Yes.
But at the same time, recently, there's been discussions, right? There's been discussions about using this sort of alternative proteins, like even from insects, Damien. I would say, because right. We've been hearing about insect larvae, meal, etc. Right? See, even that is a form of waste management that people fail to notice this.
Yeah, this is right. This at the end of the day, the insect. yes, you're right. Yeah. I haven't thought about that, but you're completely right.
Insects eat, waste, right? And they are like factories. I mean, absolutely stunning factories. I don't want to talk about my innovation. Let's talk about the bees. They are the greatest ones.
So yes, so the market, as you said, is enormous. So then for your company, it's a lot of growth ahead. You don't see any I mean, you have no bottleneck in terms of market share because it's just too big. So this is good. And now going back to Noval. So when did you have the idea for this company? Because I don't think that as a small kid you said, "Oh, I'm going to be the biggest waste recycler in the world." So how did it come about? How did you? Two questions: how did you find the opportunity, and how did you come up with a solution?
Perfect. See, like spot on, Damien. Because I have no clue about waste management till 2013, hardly like 10 years back. So, I'm an engineer as well as a MBA from institute called the Indian Institute of Management, often known as the Harvard of India. So, after passing out from there, see, being a waste management technology company, I have traveled lengths and breadths in India. Okay, from south to north to west to it's a big country, correct? So I was actually looking for opportunities in waste, not in a traditional point of view. It's not about collecting or waste to energy or we are looking at processing each stream of waste into something which is tradable, right? People say waste is gold. No, waste is not gold. Waste is waste. You need some, technology to convert it and a trader's mind to make it into gold. Correct. So I actually saw one stream of waste which was neglected, by the government of, by our government, by the private parties. There is no foreign interest, neglected. That was, surprisingly slaughterhouse waste, right? And I was also happy to see one of your presentations on that.
In my last YouTube videos, I spoke about slaughterhouse waste because this is something that there's a lot of type of waste in the world, and there's a lot of way to process them. But you need to find something which is economical to turn it to a product or a raw material. But slaughterhouse waste, I mean, could be one of them, and I don't think that there's a lot. I guess there's a lot of competitors, but they are not properly seizing this opportunity. And that was going to be one of my questions. Is like, do you need to have like extremely large slaughterhouses to make your economical model work, or it could also work with a smaller, more artisanal one?
See, that's a very relevant one. I mean, see, if you compare. So let's say two markets here, like. One is the market which is organized, a meat processing company or a country which is organized for over the last 100 years, let's say, right? And now let's talk about the developing countries, the new world countries, where, I have not been eating so much meat over the last, before 10 years. The influx of meat processing plants is very new in this country. Right?
Yes.
And we are looking at a lot of villages, towns, which itself has a lot of population who have very small slaughterhouses, right? They are not processing units. I'll tell you an example. See, I mean, can you imagine a slaughterhouse for chickens, which is hardly, say, the size of an apartment? We are looking at that. We are looking at, millions of such in India. We call it chicken stalls, right? Wet market or chicken stalls, right? So these kind of small wet markets are also very important in this trade. You get a lot of waste from this. To give you a perspective, I spoke about almost 8 to 10 million tons annual, meat consumption in India, out of which I believe, not official statistics, but as per my understanding about our company's internal study, we could understand almost 60 to 70% comes from unorganized.
Yeah. Yes.
So yes, we can't leave that.
Yes. So basically, even with small apartment size slaughterhouse, you can make your economic model work. But then you need to agglomerate, I guess, a lot of them to have one production unit to be. Okay.
Because Damien, I'm actually becoming a disciple. I follow all your videos. I'll just tell you. You spoke about a very, very interesting video you did about the byproducts of big industries, right? You spoke about how you take sawdust from a bigger industry, right? This in organized industry, this is comparable. They don't care about the waste. Damien, it's a waste. No, they don't care. So we take that, right? Now, I also followed one of your videos where you told about, how the next big thing is about, collecting from small sources and selling it to a larger party, right?
Yeah, they a lot of actually this is what people are missing. They all when you speak with new people that want to trade or something like this, they all think, I want to do like full ship or something, and they dream big like so, and it's fine. But actually, you are going to make, if you really want to start a sustainable business and that have margin, to grow, and you are not going to fight against all the big companies in the world. It's way easier to find a niche market that need agglomeration or distribution. So, and with slaughterhouse waste, I guess this will fit it. There is an extremely fragmented market, and if you can bring processes, security, in quality, and so on in such market, there is a lot of margin that you can capture, because the biggest industry, they don't want to deal with hundreds of small producers. I mean, they are not equipped for that. So this is what you can do, and then I'm sure, but there's going to be more and more of that, and I guess with new technology also, it's going to be easier to handle a large pool of supplier. But there's still a lot of a lot of innovation that needs to go there to make it work. But I think this is where if you are a bit entrepreneurial, this is why you should look at to find opportunities. And this is why I loved so much about what you did, because you found a market like this, and also you found you came up with industrial solution for that. So this is, and those two going together, I think this is why your company is doing so well. But it's a very strong moat. It's very difficult to break something what you are doing right now, especially in India. I'm not a specialist in India, but there's like so many different languages or way of doing business in such a big country. So that means if you want to have a local footprint everywhere, you need to have people that understand those cultures to be able to deal with those smaller supplier and so on. Because this is also one of the issue. If you only deal with 5 companies, the biggest 5 companies in the world, everyone has the same standard in terms of doing business. But if you deal with local people that have no idea of what even doing business mean, then you need to adapt to them. So this is also a part that someone that want to create a new supply chain need to understand that there is a lot of value in just understanding the local culture, how people are doing business there. So if I prepare or whatever, does it mean that they want to steal from me, or it's just the way that people are doing business there and I'm safe? There's a lot of those type of understanding that have a lot of value. And I think also this is what you are doing, because right now, are you everywhere in India or in only some part?
Like I said, see, now this industry is majorly concentrated in 3 regions. All right. So like any trader, we split our regions, we like sub divisions within a geography, right? The transportation cost we optimize accordingly. So we have we call it South India, the southern side of India. That's a peninsula which you see, right? So this is where we get the maximum population of people who eat meat. Southern side, we have more of let's say the cuisines are more non-vegetarian or European influenced, so we are looking at more processing units there, right? That is one cluster, right? Okay. So this spans almost but that it spans almost 600 million population. So it's like a continent, let's say. So that's one part we look into. And the density of population, it's too much, right? So we have a lot of hyper-local supply chain. We have got a large transport network. So that is one part. And secondly is on the north side. In the north side, see, Damon, I don't know if you know already, India is the top 3 largest beef exporters in the world.
Yeah, I know that.
If you already knew about it. So what about the waste? We don't export the waste, right? And that's left for us,
And so now if we take another big country that produce meat like Brazil, but there I guess the market is already way more developed compared to what you are getting in India. So are the bigger player like GBS or any other meat producer in Brazil using the same type of technology for waste, or not really?
Okay, that's fair. I would like to shed more light, Daniel. See, see, I don't really think there's a new product in the market, correct? Because I believe that the uniqueness comes from a unique need and a unique problem, correct? So you solve both the ends, then you have a business, you have a business model, right? See, technology to convert waste into, or let's say slaughterhouse waste, into a protein meal is not new. Damien, I will tell you, you can make it in the kitchen, right? you give me, I'll show it for you. But the point is how you execute it using modern technologies, how you do it sustainably, and how you do it at a low price. Very important, very important. So let's say today, the technology which we developed has certain set of unique advantages. Number one, the bigger companies know only about, let's say, I will be going to that dramatic stage where I have to say only about taking waste from a processing plant and converting it there into a product.
So they're taking from a huge slaughter plant, and they know how to do factory stuff, factory side stuff, basically. So they know how this process, they handle it, but they don't handle what you do, which is small, taking from small part and okay.
To document it, we call it a processor model. We internally call it. I don't know whether now people have started to use the terminology. So we call it a processor model. Now we are looking at a scavenger model. All right, not a good term, but
No, but I get that. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So in the scavenger model, if you see, you have to collect from an area of, let's say, 100-kilometer radius, having almost 500 to 600 individual shops. Okay, so now see the logistical, let's say technology in logistics. We have got a tracking system, we have got a route optimization platform, we have got a cold chain transport.
Yeah, that's right.
Who does cold chain in waste? I'm speaking about the waste, all right. So, and we have got temperature monitors in the truck as well as in the storage. So let's say this the local shops, they are only looking at their small profit, correct? They're deliberate. If you say, okay, we speak about sustainability or trading or international,
of course they don't. Yeah, of course, they don't care.
Give me a break, right? So what we tell them is we provide them with a cold chain infrastructure. Okay, we have started giving them, freezers, correct? To put the waste. They don't put their chicken in freezers. They put it outside for display. They put waste inside. So this is the, like I say, this is how the technology has penetrated into this model, which gave us a clear advantage in the logistics side.
I mean, the moat is terrible. I mean, if you can do that, I mean, this is incredible. But also the other part is that you raised money right at the beginning of your company, but then everything has been all the growth came from just the profit of the company, right?
It's majorly bootstrap. We also have had a few supports from the banks, like State Bank of India. So these are all respected banks. But we started as a waste management technology provider.
So this is okay. So this is a part that I wanted to discuss. So what were the biggest challenges when you started? What when you say, okay, if I can crack this, then it will work. Can you just remember, like 5 years ago, what was like what prevented you from sleep?
Great. Still does. Take me back in time. So so we, like I said, we started as a waste management company. We started making machines. All right. So these machines were again very ingenious technology, which is suited to the domestic market. So there were no competitors from other markets. These competitors were overpriced by 5 or 6 times. Right. We are not copying them. We have patents. This is a different technology. Right. So this technology worked, and we started selling machinery. So we raised some money, right? So again, see, Damien, the scalability does not come from selling a lot of machinery, right? One gentleman trader, he told me once, Shiva, you sell 2 bags today, you think you'll sell 5 more bags, then you will sell 100 bags in 100 years. Not in 2 years, right? You want to start selling 100 bags, learn to start selling 100 bags. Don't learn 2 bag selling, then you'll be good at that. Right? This kept me awake, damn it. So how long you're going to build a machinery or license your technology? Because I have a trader's mindset, right? I was always intrigued by the trading mindset. See, I'll give you a very quick history. Just let me take you back like 500 years back, right? Which is we know about the the colonialization or trade, the spice route, correct? The spice route is from my village. It's a place called Malabar, right? You used to trade spices with the Dutch, Vasco da Gama, correct? We have a Portuguese, culture running because of that here. The point is, but see, by selling machine, you are not a trader, correct? So, number one aspect is about money, Daniel. The money. Where does the money come from? How do I give a credit? How do I purchase the material? Because when we started the technology, we started licensing the technology to people because we did not have money to make a plant. Correct. And the VCs, sometimes they don't understand what I'm trying to say, correct? Because you are converting waste into some trading. So it's difficult. So I raised, what kept me awake is money. I raised money individually, Damien. There were a few supporters on the way. And we built our first plant in Calicut with our friends' help. Okay. And that gave a model to the entire country. Oh, this is possible. Right. And then from there, people started coming in. Then we have got agreements, contracts. Correct. That was the solution, Damien. The way you devise your contract, that is money. You don't go and stand in the bank, right? That is later.
No. The bank, they don't want to have to. No, they don't want to speak to you. Let's get it 3 years or 2 years, and then they start speaking with you. But at the beginning, you're on your own.
Of course. And who are you? What is the benchmark?
Yeah.
What is the benchmark for this commodity?
That's a good point. You're right.
Like, what are you doing? Are you going? It's not a processor model either.
Yeah.
So yes, what kept me awake is how to make this, these two parts linked. One part is about this smaller, slaughterhouses, correct? And on the other side, we have got companies like Cargill, or you've got companies, let's say, not telling the names, the bigger feed companies, right?
Yeah.
So I deal with them, so I really do not want to tell them.
Yeah, no problem.
I don't know. It happened to me once, and they called me, Shiva. I'm like, oh, sorry.
But with Cargill, I mean, you're safe, I guess. That's the biggest in the world. So.
Because it's top 5. So how do you deal with them, right? So we have to deal with the traders. So that's all. Even today, Damien, if you ask me the question, what keeps me awake, it's the liquidity for trade, right?
Yeah, this is the most difficult part. I mean, of any trading companies. How do you get enough liquidity? Because when you are growing your company, I mean, there's two things. One, it's about getting supplier and getting buyers. Yes. Okay, so once you've got that, then you have money problem because you need to fulfill your order. So then you get enough money. So you find new suppliers and buyers. But then you already get money problem. So it's continuous a problem between those two. And depending as you are creating the supply with your technology, then you will always have a money problem because you already have the supply. So then that's for sure. But in India, there's right now the banks are extremely developed to support traders and trade finance stuff, or not really. It's still complex for them to understand what you are doing.
See, the banking sector in India is good on a. I'll tell you. So where do we stand today? Where do my company stand today? Okay, I'm not so big and I'm not so small, and that's not a good spot to be. No, frankly, right? So either I have to be speaking about multi-billion to the bank, they understand. Right. And I say, okay, see, I need 2 billion for this shipment. to let's say another country, and they're like the top two, so it's okay. It's a Fortune 10 company. All right, so they understand. In the smaller side, okay, I'm going to a bank and I say I need, let's say, $1 million, and they'll ask, okay, what are you going to put as a mortgage or something? You know, I'd say, okay, I've got this land or this commodity inventory. They understand, correct? But the middle ones are the trickiest ones, right?
No, definitely. But you know what? After this call, I mean, we can discuss because I think I have overseas people that can help you with your financing. So, but let's discuss that after.
Please give me address.
Yes. But okay. So basically, cash flow is really, I mean, liquidity is really what you are looking for because you have a profitable model. You know your cost. You know how to grow it. I mean, you've shown it, but it's really this liquidity problem. But
I mean, I also think, you know, every trader should understand the clear difference between cash flow and profitability.
Hopefully they understand. But yeah.
And I'm okay with cash flow. You know, it's okay. A little profitless, and I can sleep.
Exactly.
But imagine now, Damien. Now we're looking at the accounting aspect of it. At the same time, we have to look at the technology aspect of it. Because this does not come automatically. It's not mined. It's not a ore where you get it like you know, let's say an iron ore, right? It's not automatically there. You have to actually convert this waste, right? It's not a platform where we are trading something like, let's say, marble or something, you know, because there are all industry, we know we are taking marble as marble, you're selling marble as marble. Now we're looking at an industry with very low shelf life, correct, of the product, correct? A very low shelf life starting from the origin, correct? And then it goes to another industry which is highly seasonal. Food industry is highly seasonal. So in between you have to manage the cash flows. So it's a good boat to be, a good ship to be.
And have you tried to find opportunities overseas for your technology, or right now India is too big? I mean, you don't want to, because the focus is attention is one of the most important part, and I know that I guess you want to do overseas stuff, but you are like, look, India is so big, I need to keep focusing on India. Or what do you think about that?
No, I think, see, I mean, I'll give you an example of a nearby, say, country. So let's take UAE, United Arab Emirates, right? It's majorly desert, right? You've got a lot of meat-eating population, literally everyone, and then you got some feed mills as well, correct? So basically our product goes where? Our product goes into a feed mill. You name it any corporate name, but it goes to a feed mill, correct? It comes from slaughterhouse waste. It gets processed using our technology. It goes out as a product to the feed mill. So now, these countries are highly dependent on imported proteins. See, they have protein right in their country, correct? They have protein right in their doorstep, and it's being, it's going into the landfills.
Yeah, exactly.
Correct. Yeah. So if you can solve a world problem, I'd be the first one in the queue. So I am looking at outside markets. I've traveled far and wide. I've traveled to Hong Kong. I've traveled to Europe many times. Even been to Iceland. See, all these places. What I could see is the infrastructure for collection is superb. 100 out of 100. Perfect. A+. Outstanding. Correct. But what do? You are converting it into waste to energy, or it's good. It's good at it. But is there some other pressing need? Correct. What if I enter a market called Europe? Let's say I'll quote an example from Belgium. I read the country's declarations and all. So recently there was one declaration. It said by 2030, it's hardly like 7 years hence from here, they want 50% of their feed mills raw material coming from food waste. See, and then of course. So I called a few people there, and they did not know about this. I said, read your country's books. So yeah, it is there. So yes, we are definitely open for overseas expansion, and there are two ways to look at it. One is you ship your products from here. You ship your commodity from India to other countries. That may be a start. That will be the transition, Daniel. And once we set a market out there, once we set a market in, let's say, any part of the country, with the rules and regulations and the product quality specifications of that country, which can be sourced from India, then you have a model, right? You have a market for that product. And who knows the technology? We know the technology. There are proprietary systems, Damien. Example, the kind of bacteria which we use 1/10 of the energy used by international plants. We recycle 80% of the water. All right. And the odor control is using microorganisms. It's not chemical process.
Okay.
Please understand. It is amazing. You cannot really imagine the cost reduction and the environmental edge which comes here, right? So we are like David or something. I can just stand in front of a conference and speak about this and tell how your country can implement this, right? So once you establish the trading route, then you establish processing units. You've got a solid market.
And but then your competition will be like soybean meals or all the other protein powder. That is your competition in terms of just commodity trading. But with your technology, you can be below the cost of that most of the time, all the time, or where are you?
I'd prefer, say, let's say, if some traders are already listening, Damien, I will use your platform to speak to them also just once. Because see, I feel that traders' mindset is very important. Like, we're always head on with a bigger party. One day we are bigger than yesterday, but then somebody humongous is in the front. Correct. So they don't see us. They don't see this interview. They are not seeing us today. Right?
Yeah, sure.
So what we do is we go under the radar, do activities, legal activities, standard activities, standardize the entire industry bit by bit. I'll tell you a fair example. Let's take the world example. I've studied the statistic. Inclusion of 1% alternative protein in the entire feed mill operations of the world is a $500 billion industry. Come on, I don't want full, please, someone, come. So we are looking to, we can actually make this into a 60% inclusion. What are we together, right? So this sort of mindset, about that vision is very important. And there is already a market today. It's not something new, right? There's already a market done in a very different way. And we are doing it more sustainably. We are doing it in a lower prices is very important. And the quality, which is surpassing. Almost every metric, if you see about digestibility, about protein content, about, the fat content, and how to, how to control that specification. That's also important, right? Accordingly. This is all we have.
Okay, Shiva. So I have one last question, and which is with so you have a new product, and how do you penetrate usually? How do you make your product known to end users? Because usually I know when, let's say there is someone that have, I don't know, a fish pond, and he's like, am I really going to use this new product? I've been using this for 20 years, so why would I use this new novel product? So how do you convert them? What is your strategy usually?
Okay, so basically now we speak about B2B.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Because we are a business selling to a feed mill. Correct. So I would call it B2B. So they are looking at comparing the companies rather than the product. Companies come first, then comes product. This is my understanding, Damien. There will be opposing views.
Yeah.
But
I think you're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. Or maybe maybe I'm used to this market, right? Because somewhere people know us. Correct. So Noval is there. All right. So Shiva, come sit. Let's talk. So maybe I'm used to that.
Yeah.
So maybe if I go to, let's say, Belgium, like I was speaking to you, so they'll be like, who's Shiva? Who Noval? Who are you? Okay, sir, I have this product. See, my product. I agree completely. So, yes, like you said, we have to, this market is right now running on word of mouth. Okay, this market is right now running in connections. All right, it's running by a few PR, like, in newspapers. There have been a lot of coverage about me in newspapers in India. in multiple languages, right? Even which I cannot read myself. Now I don't know what are they, So they said about somebody who is converting waste into proteins, etc., etc., etc. So out of this million people, one person will be from a feed mill. They'll be calling us, or we'll be calling them back. So right now, it is a very traditional method of approach, to call them, meet with them, sit with them, dine with them, crack the deal, see if there is a margin, if there is a win-win situation, right? At the same time, we are taking a slightly different approach in Dubai next month. So we are launching a new product called decarbon protein. Decarbon proteins, effectively what our product does, Damien, is that we have to do good. Like, I strongly believe in that. You make money by doing good. Very strong statement which we follow. So right now, by any feed mill who uses our product is effectively decarbonizing their entire supply chain, right?
Compared to what they use. So because you're,
let's say soya meal.
Yeah.
Let's say soya meal. So it comes, let's say Brazil, right? It's agriculture, lot of water intensive, correct? And you grow, you have fertilizers, water, land, agricultural machineries, again producing emissions. You take that, you wait for 6 months, harvest it, another truck to the ship, very, you know how ship is in the global trade, carbon emitting. So then you come back to, let's say, reaches India. Here there are other thousands of trucks going in, and then you again pay a lot of money and you're releasing a lot of carbon, and then you're getting your product. Instead, somebody, like I said, big company, soya milk, small company, Noval, right? Noval is making every kilogram which we process is actually offsetting carbon by 1 kilogram.
Have you discussed with Voluntary carbon product about that? Are you in contact with the certifier about this?
Yeah, actually, there is a particular place in Kerala where there are carbon credits, for exclusively this plant.
Yeah. So right. So this is great. I didn't know that you had this product, man. This is, of course.
It's a new one. It's a new one, Damien. I'll send you a few of the images and all. So we are launching this in Dubai, not in India. Right? That's the point I'm trying to say. You have to sell where it sells.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm already getting carbon credits for almost 7 years now. But nobody cares. Even, that don't sell here much today. Maybe in the future, hopefully, yes, I see that selling. But when you use a product, so what happens is you're offsetting that much carbon emission. A feed mill has a clear advantage.
Definitely.
Correct? So this is how we are going to pitch it. So you asked me about, how we are going to, let the people know. So we are going to know it in one of the tech shows of the world. One of the largest tech shows is coming up in Dubai called Liquidity. Right? It's coming in October 15 to 18.
I know this show, yeah.
Right? So we are launching our product. So we are launching our decarbon,
Shiva, you are a killer, man. You are a killer. I love everything that you are doing, because it plays exactly in a framework that I try to teach to my videos. Like, look, go where there is a problem in the supply chain, and this is where you are. If you solve those problems, then you are going to get margin. Profit out of it. And this is exactly what you did. So, and now you've been doing it for like 7 years, and it's been. Your company is a rocket ship, man.
Almost 10 years now.
Almost 10 years.
And there's a lot of challenges, Damien. But one thing stood out. Even trading, in general trading as well, we have gained our reputation by actually doing good, Damien. Somehow it's working. I'm not a preacher. I'm a trader, right? So I'll stick to my job. But in my job, one sword, one gun stands out. The do good gun. Big company comes, Shiva, go get out. I'm doing good. Okay, then you stay. Dubai is like, oh, you're Indian company. What are you doing here? I'm doing good. Okay, stay.
But you're right. You're right.
You enter everywhere, every market. So, I think, Damien, that's why, I would like to, I feel that, this technology is abundant. Right, any type of technology you convert into from e-waste, you can convert anything. From organic waste, you can convert anything. But the point is that how you are trading it, how you are managing the trade of this. who are you selling it to? How are you selling it to? And I really selling what you are telling. Very important. I mean, so I don't know. This is my strategy. To let the people know.
Perfect, Shiva. So thanks a lot, man. I know you are a very busy guy, so we will leave it to here. Is there something that you wanna say to the audience at the end to end the interview?
See, one thing I want to tell the audience: follow this guy. I am a trader for almost 10 years from a very difficult, not so easy to do business countries, but the image is changing so much. But trust me, I've taken advices, I've given advices, I still give advices, take advices, but I follow this channel, right? So see, let us break down the simple things. Do not expect anything dramatic, please. It's already covered, right? Previously. Now I'm telling just by the way, you did not ask me to do this, but I'm doing this. Follow this channel.
Thanks, man.
$1 million channel, because you give out, and Damien, please continue what you're doing.
Thanks.
Right?
So thanks a lot, Shiva. Thanks a lot. It means a lot from someone like you.
Friend to friend, Damien. Friend to friend. I'd like to meet you. Like I said, if you come to Dubai, come please. I'll come to Malaysia as well. We already discussed.
Yeah, sure. Do you have? Hey guys. So thanks a lot for being. So it's been like 30 minutes that we are speaking together. Yeah. So that was great. Shiva, I think you have a LinkedIn page where people can reach out to your company and so on. So let's. So if you want to see what Noval is about, just go on LinkedIn. I think you're posting a lot, so this is great. And then if you like this interview, please leave a comment below, and then I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.